So in an effort to review what we did last week, okay, I've got 10 questions up here on the board, right? The first 5, I want you to write the formulas, okay? The second 5, I want the names, okay? Remembering a couple of things. Our first step, regardless of whether we're in column A or column B, is to decide whether it's ionic or molecular, and then go with the appropriate rules. Okay, if it's ionic, does it need Roman numerals? Okay, how do we figure that out? If it's molecular, obviously we use the prefixes. Okay, if we've got a polyatomic ion, what do we do with that? Okay, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to see how much of that you remember. Okay, so do those 10. I'll give you a few minutes, and then we'll go through them together. Okay, you'll need your periodic table open on your phone. Okay, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to give you paper copies here soon. Okay, because I know it's a pain in the neck to keep looking at it on your phone. All right, so we'll start out with the naming questions. All right. We've got question number 1 here, where the compound is lithium sulfide. Is that ionic or molecular? It's ionic. Lithium is a metal. So I start off by simply writing, okay, lithium with its charge and sulfide with its charge. What do we do with those 2 charges now? Right, so drop and swap them. All right, so the 2 will go here, the 1 will go here, but we don't write 1s. And we've got Li2S as our formula for that one. Okay. For number 2, trinitrogen dichloride. The presence of prefixes would indicate this is what kind of compound? Molecular. All right, so all I have to do then is write the formula for nitrogen, which is N. The prefix is tri, so how many? 3. Okay. Chloride is Cl. Prefix is di, which is 2. All right, and we're done with that. Okay, for number 3, we've got copper 2 phosphide. Okay, ionic or molecular? Ionic. It's ionic. Anytime you see a Roman numeral, it's ionic. Okay, and it's got a metal in it. Copper's a metal. Okay, so we've got Cu. That's the symbol for copper. What does the Roman numeral tell me about copper?
Its charge is 2.
Its charge is 2. Okay, so we got 2 plus, and then it's with phosphide, which is P, and its charge is -3. Right. Now what do I do with those? Drop and swap. Right. So Cu3, P2. Okay, that'll be our formula there. Okay. For carbon tetrachloride. Okay. So we've got carbon, which is C, and tetra. So this is a molecular compound. Obviously, if we've got a whoop, I don't want that open. Okay, let's try that again. So we've got carbon, and tetra stands for how many chlorines?
3.
4. Okay, and then we've got lead 2 nitrate. So we have, is that ionic or molecular? It's ionic. What does the Roman numeral tell me about lead? It's a 2 plus charge. Okay, and then I've got to write nitrate. Okay, that's a polyatomic ion. All right, so I look up nitrate in my table of polyatomic ions, and it's NO3, and it has a -1 charge. Now when I drop and swap, okay, the 1 from nitrate comes over here, but we don't bother writing that. Okay, what do I do with nitrate before I move the 2? I have to put it in brackets, right? Anytime I'm going to have to put a number beside a polyatomic ion, I need to enclose it in brackets and then put the number outside so that everyone knows it applies to the entire ion and not just the last element in it. Okay? All right, questions on that one? That's about as tricky as they get, because you have to remember the Roman numeral part and the polyatomic ion part for that one. Okay, any questions on the first 5? Okay. For our second 5 here, we just need to write the names. Right, so we've got Na3N, ionic or molecular? It's ionic. All right, sodium is the metal, so I will write it first. Okay, nitrogen is the non-metal, so I will write it second and end it in "ide." Do I need any Roman numerals for this one? No, sodium only has 1 possible charge. Okay, so we're done. Sodium nitride is the name of that. Question number 2, I've got silicone and oxygen. Okay, is this ionic or molecular? Okay, so what will I need? I'll need prefixes. Do I need one on silicone? Okay, and I gotta put a di in front of oxygen and end it in ide, so we've got silicone dioxide. All right, number 3, NiS, ionic or molecular? It's ionic, yeah, because nickel is a metal. Okay, so nickel. Okay, and S stands for sulfur, so that'll be sulfide. Do I need Roman numerals for this one? Yes, I do. Nickel can be a 2 or a 3, so I have to figure out which one it is. To do that, I look to the non-metal. Sulfur's charge is always -2, so since they have to balance out, the charge on nickel must be +2. Right, so this will be nickel, Roman numeral 2, sulfide. Okay, and then we got number 4, we've got OF3. Okay, so the O stands for oxygen, okay, F stands for fluorine, ionic or molecular? All right, molecular. Do I need a prefix on oxygen? No, it's a 1, and we don't put a prefix on the first one if it's 1. What prefix needs to go on fluorine? Tri. And then it needs to end in ide. Oxygen trifluoride. All right, and then our last one here, okay, we've got Fe3 Po4 2. So, ionic or molecular? It's definitely ionic. It's got a metal and a polyatomic ion. All right, so Fe is iron and Po4 is phosphate. Okay, do I need a Roman numeral? Yes, I do. Okay, iron has more than one possible charge. So I look to my non-metal, which in this case is phosphate. Its charge is -3. So how many negatives do I have in total? 6. All right, so if I've got 6 negatives, I've got to get 6 positives from 3 iron. So each iron must have a charge of 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, so iron 2 phosphate is the name of that one, and that's as hard as the naming will get. Okay, having to have a Roman numeral and a polyatomic ion in the same compound. Okay, all right, is that ringing a bell from last week? Okay, I am going to have you working on a few from the digital workbook package, so I'll just open that up here. Because I think we got started, but we got like the first 6 done or something like that on Friday before the bell went. Okay, so I want you to practice a little bit with those and see how we do. Remember, I posted the keys in Google Classroom on Friday of last week, okay, and you should be checking those as you go. Okay, so you need your Unit 1 Chemistry Workbook package. You need that one open. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we did the first 6, and I think I was showing you guys these last ones here. So let's say on this page here, do from, let's say 7 to 25. So do that first column, and then switch to the next page where it goes the other way, where it gives you the formula and you have to write the name, just so we can get kind of a, doing it both ways. Okay, for a bit of practice. So sorry, not the next page, but sorry, the one after. It says naming compounds. Okay, and do the first column on that. Okay, how many should you do before you check the key?
5.
Yeah, like 5 at the most. Okay, do 5 at the most before you check the key. Okay, just in case you're doing something wrong, I don't want you to practice doing it wrong. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to have you do a couple of specific ones from column 2 here, and I just want to walk through them as just more exemplars here. So I want to have a look at number 27. Whoops, I'm on the wrong slide. I would like you guys to do 27. 27, 29, 30, 31, and 39. Okay, give you a couple minutes to do those 5. Okay, and I just want to walk through them as a couple more of those exemplars. Okay, so for these ones here, okay, for our first one, dinitrogen pentoxide, ionic or molecular? Molecular, okay. So we're going to put N, and we're going to put our 2 next to it because that's what the prefix tells us, and then O, and what's penta stand for? 5. Okay, so we got N2O5. All right, for aluminum nitride, okay, so we have ionic or molecular there? It's ionic. Okay, so Al, and the charge on aluminum is 3 plus. Okay, and nitrogen, okay, charge on nitrogen is 3 minus. All right, so when I drop and swap, what am I going to be left with? I'm going to have Al, N. These are already balanced, right? Plus 3 and negative 3 already cancel each other out. Okay, remember, we said if I can reduce a compound, I should. Okay, those already cancel, Al, N. Okay, back to something from the first day when we were talking about structure of the atom. Okay, aluminum has a charge of 3 plus. Why? Does it gain 3 protons or lose 3 electrons? It loses 3 electrons. Remember, electrons are the only thing that can be gained or lost. You can't gain protons. If you do, you've added to what part of the atom? You've added to the nucleus. Or if you've lost protons, you have split the nucleus. Either one of those is a kaboom situation, okay? When you alter the nucleus, you are doing nuclear physics. You are no longer doing chemistry, okay? You are altering the nucleus. You cannot add or subtract protons without changing fundamentally what it is you are working with. However, losing or gaining electrons is what goes on in a chemical reaction. So remember, if you see Al3 plus, it's lost 3 electrons. It has not gained 3 protons. Everybody with me there? Okay, same with nitrogen. Okay, it has a charge of minus 3 because it adding 3 electrons. Okay, electrons are the only particle that can be gained or lost because they're in the cloud. Okay, they can be lost. Stuff from the nucleus can't. Okay, and similarly, stuff can't be added to the nucleus. Okay, for number 30, we've got manganese 2 hydroxide. So an ionic compound. Okay, what does the 2 tell me? Has a charge of 2, and that is crucial, guys. We have to remember that that's what that stands for. Okay, again, the most common mistake that I see with Roman numerals is people writing a 2 beside manganese, assuming it means there are 2 of them. It means that it has the 2 plus charge. Okay, so we just use it for the drop and swap. And it's with hydroxide, which is a polyatomic ion that has a charge of negative 1. What do I have to do with polyatomic ions if I need to put a number beside them? I have to put them in brackets. Okay, the reason being, this is not the same as this. Okay, having it enclosed in brackets means there's 2 oxygens and 2 hydrogens. Not having the brackets means 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogens, not the same thing. Okay. All right, and then we have ammonium carbonate. And the reason I selected this one is because ammonium is a special polyatomic ion. Okay, and it's special because it's the only one that is positively charged, which means it behaves as a metal. Okay, so NH4 with its positive 1 charge is with carbonate, another polyatomic ion, CO3, and it has a minus 2 charge. Okay, when I drop and swap, which one of these gets the brackets? The first one. Yeah, ammonium is going to get the brackets because we just put a 1 here. We don't write 1s. Okay, but I'm going to need 2 ammoniums. Okay, it's not very often, okay, that you get a compound that's got 2 polyatomic ions. Okay, but when you do, one of them will be ammonium. Okay, because it'll be the one acting as the Okay, and for 39, cobalt-3 nitrate. Again, what does the 3 tell me about cobalt? It's positive 3, right? It's charge. I use that in the drop and swap. And it is with nitrates, okay? NO3, which is a -1. So what's going to have to go here? Brackets with what outside? 3. Okay, is that making sense? All right. Now I want to do a couple of exemplars the other way, okay? So I would like you to do 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38. Okay, I want you to try those 5. We'll give you a couple minutes and we'll walk through those together again. Okay, so our first one here, okay, number 34, we've got copper with sulfur. Okay, so ionic compound. So we write the name of the metal first, name of the non-metal second, ending in "ide." So we got copper sulfide. Do I need a Roman numeral? Yes, I do. Okay, and as always, we look to the non-metal to tell us which one. Since since sulfur is a -2 and they're here 1 to 1, copper must be +2. So we got a Roman numeral 2, okay, in our name there. For number 35, similar situation. We've got iron with oxygen, so we'll have iron something oxide. We're going to need a Roman numeral. Okay, we look at the oxygen to tell us which one, -2. That means this iron must be a +2 because they're 1 to 1. Okay, for number 36, again, another ionic compound that's going to need a Roman numeral because nickel can be a 2 or a 3. In this case, it's with iodine, so this is going to be nickel something iodide. Iodine's always a -1. How many iodines are there? 3. So we have a total of 3 negative charges, which means we need to get 3 positives from our metal. Since there's only 1 nickel, this is the nickel with the 3 plus charge. Okay, for 37, we've got copper with sulfur, ionic or molecular. Or sorry, carbon with sulfur. It's molecular. Carbon's a non-metal. Okay, so we'll have carbon. Okay, do we need a prefix on carbon? Nope. Okay, do we need a prefix on sulfide?
Yes.
Which one? Di. Alright, so we got carbon disulfide. And then our last one, we've got phosphorus with sulfur. Okay, ionic or molecular? Molecular, they're both non-metals. Okay, so we will have, do we need a prefix on our first one? Yes, we do. Okay, so diphosphorus. Okay, the reason I picked that one is we haven't had too many where we needed a prefix on the first one. Okay, so diphosphorus, and what prefix do we need on the sulfur? Penta. Okay, so diphosphorus pentasulfide. Okay, what do you suppose will be on Thursday's quiz? This. Like, I can't think of anything else right now I would put on Thursday's quiz, right? You know, we'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm just going to move on to properties of compounds and teach you that kind of stuff. Okay, but yeah, Thursday's quiz will be entirely naming, and when we do that, okay, we'll have an idea of how strong we are, okay, with the naming stuff. Now, the thing about naming here, guys, is if you don't get this, you need to come and get some help. Okay, come and see me at lunch. If you're not getting these, you're not sure why, okay, whatever, come and see me for help. This is one of those fundamental skills that is necessary for everything else we do in chemistry, right? If you can't properly write the formulas for a compound, we'll never be able to balance a chemical reaction properly, okay? So we have to be able to do the naming and the writing of formulas consistently, okay? So if you're struggling with it, there's no shame in that. Just come in and see me for some help and we'll make sure we get it sorted out, okay?
Will there be a practice quiz tonight?
I will post, well, on Wednesday, because it's only Tuesday, yeah. But yes, there will be a practice quiz posted Wednesday after school, same as always. All right, But for right now, I would suggest using the many naming questions that I've given you on those other worksheets. Okay, let's finish out the class. About 10 minutes left here. See how many of those you can do. Again, checking the keys as you go. Okay, try a couple of these other sheets. All right, and hopefully you're getting them. They get a little more involved as they go along here. So if you're looking for something a little more challenging, there's tougher ones here, okay, on this sheet. Okay, and if you need some help, just put your hand up and I'll come around and help you.